A 3, a 2, a 1. Hi, I'm Zinnia, and I'm a trans woman.
And I'm Penny, and I'm a trans woman.
You are?
Last I checked.
So, since last time, I've been up to some antics. I was on Tucker Carlson against my will. He asked me to be on. I did not want to be on, so instead he just read some of my tweets, which he construed as meaning that I wanted to enforce some kind of, what did he call it?
Now we're advancing toward mandatory transgender dating. For real. A transgender activist called Zinnia Jones.
Mandatory transgender dating. I think we should read the tweets where this started then, I guess. I don't see a problem with telling straight guys who are exclusionary of trans women partners that they should try to work through that. These angry declarations that they have some absolute right to not want to be with trans women are just misplaced and inappropriate. There's some baseline rate for that as an actual true preference, but it's artificially inflated by social stigma and biases. He read that as meaning that I was going to force men to date us. Something like one of us for every 5 or 6 other women that men date or something.
Why wouldn't dating websites, for example, compel men to date one biological male for every 5 biological females?
How badly does someone need to fill time and prime time on a cable news channel when this is what they cover? I mean, if you had 2 minutes, just 2 minutes on Fox News at prime time, what would you do with that?
Well, I probably wouldn't decide to prop up a, marginalized, disadvantaged people as some type of, enemy.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do that.
But he's like trying to fill in this whole Bill O'Reilly like culture warrior niche thing now. I guess he just needed his like literal 2 minutes hate. I don't want to make men date us. I mean, how would that even work? Is there enough of us to go around? I don't think there is. Do you think most of us would even want to be like systematically paired up with these random dudes who don't want us?
I'm pretty sure most of us aren't even straight.
That's true. I'm a lesbian. You're a lesbian?
Too.
She's a lesbian.
I'm gay as all fuck.
We're not going after straight dudes anyway. They don't need to worry about that, right?
Yeah, actually, many have been disappointed.
Yeah, because
a lot of disappointment going around over the fact that I am so not straight.
We're talking like at least in the thousands here, right?
Oh yeah.
Like we can actually add up these figures and we're up to like 4 or 5 digits.
Don't want to toot our own horns, but there's a lot of disappointment over the lack of horn tooting.
Yeah, sorry straight guys, we're not gonna toot your horns.
Just being real.
And we don't want you to toot our horns.
Humble brag.
Our horns are not tooting for you. I feel like this is just his way of saying, oh, you expected people to just re-examine some belief that they hold about a marginalized group. Oh, you just all want to fuck us then. No. The entire reason I brought this up was because there are so many straight guys who are into us. There are a ton of people who would be into us, but they have hang-ups about it because they think, oh, trans women aren't women, which is false because trans women are women, obviously. If they could get past that, then maybe they'd realize that they could have a really good time with us. I am trying to help them here. People who like trans women or might like trans women but have issues with it because of everything that society says about us in terms of harmful messages and stereotypes. A lot of people could work past that and realize that we're actually pretty awesome. As a lesbian, I say trans women are pretty awesome. What do you feel about? Yeah, you like trans women?
Yeah. I'm a fan.
We like each other.
Super fan.
We like each other. Heather likes us. Heather likes trans women. She loves trans women. Oh my gosh. Like, wow. people get so reactive about this. They seem to think that defending their own preferences requires reactively just lashing out at people like me and just saying, oh, straight men wouldn't ever like a trans woman, which is false. Lesbians would never like a trans woman. Again, really, really false. A lot of people in the whole conservative blogosphere who were circulating these tweets of mine before Tucker Carlson decided to pick it up, they went on and on about how apparently I want men to have sex with, as they put it, other men.
A transgender activist called Zinnia Jones recently lit into straight men because so few of them seem to want to date other biological men who are transgender.
Which I don't. What I was saying was that there's no reason why saying, oh, I'm a straight man, should come with implicitly attached to it, but not trans women. There's no reason that being a lesbian should come with implicitly attached to it, but not trans women. You know, there's no reason that that's inherently a part of that at all. Because for so many straight guys and lesbian women, that's not a part of it at all. I mean, if you're characterizing trans women as men, then you would just have to say that all these straight guys and all these lesbian women are wanting to go out and just fuck a lot of men. But that's not what you see. I don't see the straight men who like us going out and banging lots of men. I don't see the lesbians who like us going out and banging lots of men. I don't. Heather doesn't. No, that's really not on our gay agenda, if you know what I mean. And then there was a whole second act to this whole thing. Again, which I did not want at all. Lacey Green, how many of you remember her? That is a blast from the past, right? Sex educator, sex positive, those are all labels that I would apply to her past work, because her most recent work consisted of her reading another follow-up tweet that I made on this subject and calling it gross or creepy.
One of these YouTubers went so far as to advocate rubbing her dick and balls all over a straight guy's face until he's into it. Yeah, that's not gross or creepy at all.
I guess I should have to read that tweet too then. Someone had said to me on Twitter, work through a dick? How does that work exactly? So in the course of telling them exactly what they could do with dick, I said, have your trans girlfriend rub her balls and dick on your face until you realize how awesome it is? I don't know, dude. Lacey then went on to describe this as something rather qualitatively different. And the reason that it doesn't mean the same thing is because she is using the indefinite article here, like I'm just going to pick some random straight guy wandering down the street having a happy heterosexual day, and I'm just gonna pounce on him with a fucking ball attack to the face. And that's not... No, I said your trans girlfriend. You're wondering what sort of fun things you can do in bed together? Well, here's Zinnia, trans woman, here to help you with things about sex with trans women, which I would say is something that I know a little bit about. Would you say that I know a little bit about that?
Yeah.
You as well?
You're pretty experienced in that area.
So are you. You'd be well positioned to provide them with advice. Sure, you can call it gross or creepy if you completely misread it and try to cast trans women as rapists, which cis people and straight people should really try not to do because it's shitty. Oh my god. Why did she do that? She defended this for days on Twitter. She defended this for days after, just her reading of this, as if that's the only reading of that, or as if that was reasonable. I don't think it's unreasonable to say, hey, people who are in intimate relationships often end up with their genitals on each other's faces, at least as something they try at some point. Maybe figuring out what each other likes, you know, right? That's a thing that tends to... That's a sexual thing that tends to go on. Genitals end up on faces in various combinations. You try things that you think might be interesting. You see if you're into them or not. If you're into it, hey, that's nice. If you're not into it, alright, something, you know. I feel like this sort of merits a demonstration because this apparently was not clear enough. I've had so many people telling me I really need to set the record straight on this that I guess I really just need to map out how this would really go. So, hop up here. What was it that I said? Have your trans girlfriend rub her balls and dick in your face until you realize how awesome it is?
I think that was it, yeah.
Yeah, so how could this go? Little kitty rub here, just little cat rub, just...
Maybe perhaps I should be a bit more, assertive.
Yeah. You do this sort of thing because you think, hey, maybe it'll be nice. Maybe it's not really your thing. Maybe you're just like, meh, isn't really doing it for me. Maybe for her, it's not really doing it for her, so you think, well, right, do something else. Probably a lot of things.
Yeah, I think there are quite a few things that
there are
two
a
people
lot
can
of
do.
Body parts that can be used in all sorts of ways, all sorts of non-body parts that can be used in all sorts of ways, all sorts of settings, all sorts of costumes, all sorts of devices. Poppers and dry humping, I don't know. Maybe it is something you like. Maybe you get all up here and y'all just realize, this is, hey. Maybe she realizes, it's really nice. That is really doing it. And you just sort of just go on like that, having discovered a thing that you and your partner really enjoy. And good for you. I don't see how either of these things are necessarily a problem. I mean, haven't we tried things that we turned out not to necessarily like, but, we tried them anyway?
I think we've tried almost everything.
Yeah,
Because you never know. Something that you might like in your head turns out to not really be your thing in real life.
Or something
that you never suspected you would be into.
You're like, hey, this really does it for me.
It just really gets you.
That silicone gel lube, when we tried it, it's just a little too much friction, not comfortable.
Okay.
It's like, does that mean that this was a terrible suggestion and you have to call someone a rapist for days on Twitter over it? I don't feel like that would be necessary, but I'm not Lacey Green. Again, she is a sex educator and she is mystified at the prospect of partners' genitals ending up on each other's faces as something that they might try. In fact, she's so mystified by this that she went on to describe this as, quote, conversion therapy light.
The rhetoric of your sexual orientation can change if you just have the right experience or open your mind is literally the same argument used by conversion therapists and homophobes. What?
Which I would say is way out of line considering the number of queer people and trans people who've been subjected to actual conversion therapy, with things like electroshocks, drugs, horrible things like that, just designed to break a person for no real reason. And now she is using that term to describe two people consensually making love when one of them is trans. And I think that's really disgusting, because I don't think the term conversion therapy ever was meant to encompass in any capacity a straight guy touching his girlfriend's genitals. Of all the things that could fall under conversion therapy, I feel like that is way outside of that ballpark.
I don't think that falls in the same category in the slightest.
I don't think consensually experimenting with a mutually loving partner is conversion therapy. I don't think trying out touching each other's genitals is conversion therapy. I don't know how she figures this. I'm genuinely mystified. I don't know what is happening there. I just kind of want her to stop. This whole episode of just fake outrage, this whole non-traversy, I feel like it just became centered around cis people and straight people. I feel like it just became all about them taking this as an opportunity to say, no, never, trans people are hideous, I don't even want to think about this, and your tweets are raping me because you made me think about this. One would think that trans people would be the ones centered here in this issue about, trans women as partners. You'd think that maybe people might instead raise concerns about, a trans woman might have dysphoria. Is she necessarily comfortable with being touched there in that way? That would be a concern that you'd think people might raise, right? Not every trans woman is into that. Maybe she's a strict bottom, just, This is not all about them. This is not all just some opportunity to express how hideous you find us to be, or to just personally attack a trans woman. And that's really kind of what it turned into after the whole Fox News, Lacey Green video. This really terrible sexologist, Dr. Ray Blanchard, maybe some of you trans people know him, decided to start spreading nudes of me to his followers and say that trans women really have trouble finding attractive partners. I don't know how many trans people he knows, because that's not really a problem that I've experienced, but I don't think that I ever want to talk to cis people and straight people about this again. I mean, would you? After seeing how all this played out, do you want cis and straight people to fuck you? Does this make you want to get in their jeans?
Oh my god.
After all this, you're not feeling it, are you? You're not feeling it. But again, nobody really gave any thought to, what trans women might think. How do we even end this on a positive note? This was just disappointing. Poppers and dry humping? Fuck me or you're a bigot.